Hi everybody, it's me Caressa again, and I thought today we would do, out of this Japanese folk art coloring, a picture of some koi. So I thought we would start with the fish and we would talk about the background as I work. So I'm going to start off with some orange and vermilion, and these are the Inktense pencils again. They're water-based. Well, they're not water-based. They're water-soluble. And what I wanted to say was, the background, I think I'm going to put in some distress ink, just kind of blurred in. I'm not sure how it'll look on here, but I guess we'll kind of learn together. So I hope it'll look really nice when I'm done. Just using orange right now. I'm also using orange to shade the fish a little bit, just give it some volume around the edges there. And then here. Come in with my vermilion, my red color. It's called poppy red, but and it is a poppy red, but it's a very orange-based red. I'm going to put some of it in here. I'm also going to add a little bit of yellow. Just kind of here and there in the lighter areas. In the lighter areas of shadow, if that makes sense. Where the shadow starts to go into the lighter areas is where I'm just adding the yellow. And I'll just continue this with the other fish. So, one of the things I wanted to say about the background is traditionally, whenever I usually see pictures of koi fish, they usually kind of put like blue water, and I was thinking, that's great and all, but whenever I see koi fish or catfish or anything like that, they're usually in a pond, and the water's usually kind of well, to be honest, a green color. So I think I might actually do that, just make the water sort of a green color. I might put some blue in it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll experiment with that together. I'm going outside the lines. Gosh. Just erase that real quick. Yeah, there we go. Just a little bit of orange there. Some here. Forgot these. And again with the red. Same thing, basically the same thing I did on the other fish. Nothing groundbreaking. I was watching my Cozy Mysteries again. You know how I am. And I was watching Columbo, and one of my favorite episodes is this one of this, I don't know what you'd call it, this beauty tycoon. She runs a like a cosmetics industry. And just seeing how fashion has changed and stuff. Like, part of the story is that to cover up the murder, she starts wearing these gloves. And I'm not spoiling it. You know who the murderer is at the beginning of the show. She's wearing these gloves to cover up to help cover up the murder. And I'm thinking, yeah, that would be a great way to get away with it back then. But nowadays, if you wore gloves just for no reason, people would think something was up. You know. But back then, you could get away with it. In the, I guess, early 70s, maybe this was. Okay. Let's go to this fish. But yeah, it was just interesting to see all the ways they talked about different beauty stuff that, you know, people don't really do anymore. Like, she wears this beauty mark, and Columbo's like, how come you're not wearing your beauty mark right now? And she goes, oh, I never apply it in the morning. I always apply it in the afternoon. It's like, good Lord, could you imagine? It's like, well, it's hit noon. It's time to apply the beauty mark. I don't know. I guess I just had to be there to understand it. Okay. I have to shade a little bit there. Forgot to shade. We'll just put a little bit of poppy red there. The yellow. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Adds variety. Alright. Now let's go ahead and activate with water. Got my water brush here. Another thing I should probably bring up is, I know in the, what are we calling it, the squid episode where I colored a giant squid, we talked a little bit about, you know, color interference. I guess you'd call it atmospheric perspective, perhaps. You know, we've got this orange fish under some green, blue water. So obviously, because it's orange, the color's going to be knocked back and dulled a bit. But I'm not really worrying about that too much because I'm going to be putting the color over it. So that'll help dull the color on its own and knock it back for me. So I won't have to really worry about it as much. I know I probably don't make a lot of sense when I talk about, you know, the interference and the different in the way that colors interact that way. But it's really it's not really complex, but it is complex, and it's one of those things that takes a long time to learn and a long time to master, and you know, it's very hard to verbalize, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Get some color in here because I feel like that's a bit dull. Same over here. I feel like that's a bit dull. Okay. Alright. Should really wipe my brush off on something, but whatever. I sometimes wipe it off on my hand, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So let's go to the lily pads. Bring in a few colors here. So Let's start with our leaf green, which is sort of a drab green. Okay, here. Okay, that'll be in the center. Then we're going to go out with our teal green and kind of go out from there. Sorry if you can hear that scratching in the background. That's my cat who's decided that right now is the time to use the cat box. Sorry about that. Nothing I can do. I guess when you gotta go, you gotta go. Okay. And now we are going to use, whoop, just flung the pencil, apple green. Sorry if my hand is in the way, I just gotta reach over here to get this area. Gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Being pretty sloppy here. Not really, kind of anxious today, so I'm not very meticulous, if I'm being honest with you. But please bear with me. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. Like, you know, entertainment value. Something. Relaxation, I don't know. I just want everybody to just kind of have fun and relax with me and just have a good time. Alright. Now I've got those colored in. I'm going to come in and activate. He's back in the box. What could you... I was going to say, what could you possibly not have finished? And then I realized I don't want to know. I'm going to squeeze the water brush. Get a little more water. One of the great things about using a water-soluble medium like this is like, I don't feel like these greens particularly go together, as in, like, I don't think the drab green goes very well with the teal green. But the fact that they're water-soluble means that they kind of mix together and they work together. So it's all good. I knew I should have remembered to get my blotting paper so I could blot this off, but oh well. Okay. Let's look at the... Actually, why don't we real quick throw in the color for the stems of like the lily pads, everything. Just real quick. Just like that. And then maybe take a little bit of that teal color and just put a little bit here and there, like where I would think shadow might fall from underneath, from it being underneath the lily pad. Or underneath the water lilies, whatever it's under, you know what I mean. I'm not going to bother, what am I trying to say? I'm not going to try bothering diluting it because it's such a small area. I mean, you could do that if you want to. If you want to be extra. I'm just not going to do it. No need to. Okay. Now let's look at the water lilies. I'm thinking that I am, oh no, I'm not missing a pencil. Here it is. I'm going to use yellow, my sun yellow, and I'm also going to use fuchsia for the water lilies. So in the middle, I'm going to come in here, and I'm not staying inside this circle. I'm going out a little bit to sort of create a blend. And then I'm going to kind of feather out to the fuchsia a little bit. Just a little bit. I want the flower to be mostly white. Well, that's not mostly white. I went a little too heavy-handed. That's okay, though. It's my world. I do what I want. In fact, I like this better because it ties in with the orange of the koi. I was kind of hesitant to use this fuchsia color because I was like, oh, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna, sorry, my camera just went, there we go. My camera went sideways, and I just now noticed that. Okay, anyway. What I was trying to say is I feel like this is probably better than what I was originally going to do with the fuchsia, because the fuchsia I felt like was probably going to clash with the koi, and I just, I wasn't crazy about that. But now I'm actually kind of digging this color combination, so fun times had by all. I may call myself an artist, but I mess up all the time. I think that's kind of one of the interesting things about art is that you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up. It's just gonna happen. You show me an artist who doesn't mess up, and I'm gonna show you somebody who's fibbing, somebody who's lying. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good with that. And the next step is going to be dealing with these waves and then putting in the background. But there's two reasons we're going to stop here. One, this is still wet, and so blending out ink and all that will be very difficult. I might snag the paper, I might tear it up if I do that. And number two, we're coming in on 20 minutes. So I hope you stay tuned for part 2 where we complete this. Hopefully, if not, there'll be a part 3. And I want you to stay tuned, and I want you to have a wonderful day. Please give us a subscribe and a thumbs up if you will. No pressure. Have a good day, okay? Bye.